So you go a long way back, but first let's talk about the right now and in these partner meetings. Fiscal cliff doesn't get mentioned at all?
We don't talk about it. Entrepreneurs don't think about taxes and macroeconomy issues when they're starting companies, and if they are thinking about it, they're probably not the right people to back.
Right.
They're passionate about a product, passionate about a market, and they're thinking 5-10 years in advance when they might have to worry about taxes.
Well, they might not be talking about taxes and fiscal cliff, but are they talking about Washington, though?
I think they're talking about the impact that this has on the public markets and just the lack of confidence in the public markets and how it will be harder for them to access the public markets in that environment of uncertainty. But again, for most of them, it's pretty far in the future. So the access to capital right now in the private markets hasn't really changed that much.
So,
if anything,
so there's still
better.
plenty of liquidity then?
There's plenty of capital available for young, growing companies with great teams.
So what are you discussing? What's the biggest topic then for you?
We're discussing trends, right? We're discussing mobile, we're discussing video, we're discussing the consumerization of the enterprise. I mean, these are all the things that we spend time talking about. We just don't spend a lot of time talking about the macros, which I think I count us lucky.
No, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you're also talking about jobs, and you're talking about what's the next big thing. So, as I mentioned, you started social networking companies back in the 90s. You are funding companies right now. What exactly is what's going to be the big thing for 2013 then, from your view?
I think so. On the consumer side, the video is huge. The sort of integration of web video with television is a huge trend. On the enterprise side, this consumerization of the enterprise is a huge trend. Basically people inside of an enterprise being able to pick and choose the type of applications that they want to use.
What do you mean consumer?
Like things like Google
language.
Apps.
Okay.
Whereas we used to have an IT manager would sort of foist a product on you and you would have to use it. Now these consumers inside the enterprise are going out and choosing the types of things that they want to use and just downloading them. And then the IT manager is catching up with what they're using and trying to figure out how to harness it. So it's a very different way for software to be deployed across the enterprise.
Now, do you expect that you're going to do it as the same number of deals as you did in 2012 as you're going to do in 2013?
Absolutely.
Okay, what gives you that confidence?
We're just seeing great innovative ideas coming up, and our side of the market, the early stage side of the market, has a lot of enthusiasm in it. These trends, which won't really hit the public markets until 5-10 years from now, are what we're dealing with right now, and we just see a tremendous amount of excitement.
You see, but the thing is that, and I understand that, but I also, at the same time, you read about startups, you read about new companies, and spending a lot of capital to grow, and you wonder, is there going to be a shakeout in the next 12 or 18 months? I mean, I was reading this article, I think it was in the New York Times yesterday, about Uber, the car service company,
yep.
and how they're being blocked now by city regulators, and the amount of money they're spending to try to expand. And I just wonder whether or not we're going to see this shakeout, because it all sounds so rosy right now from talking to you, but we know what happened with the dot-com bubble. We know that a lot of capital was spent and very little return for some of these startups.
Yeah, there's a lot of destruction that gets done in the process of building big companies. So there's no doubt. We have shakeouts all the time, I mean, we see it.
But do you see one coming?
I don't see a big one coming. I think there's going to be a series of small shakeouts. There'll be certain companies, I don't know if Uber's one of them, that will end up having raised too much capital and using too much capital to justify the business model. But I don't see a big shakeout coming. In the venture capital business, I think there has been too much venture capital relative to the number of opportunities that there are. And I think we're starting to see a shakeout of people who give us money, state pensions, getting a little bit more picky about who they give their money to.